Hey guys, welcome to Picksburgh. This is Anthony, and you are joining us for yet another episode of Collecting Profit. And I got to apologize to the hippest and the flippitest one for making her wait all the way to episode 27 to have you on. I was just telling her this week, like, man, how have we gone 27 episodes and not had you on yet? But big shout out to Flippin Mamma. Appreciate you being here with us this week.
Oh, you're welcome. All you need to do is ask. And I said yes. And then I said yes. And I said, what show? What show? What show does Anthony have now?
Yep, we're not collecting profit.
I know he goes live once in a while. Look, this is how big of a in each other's lives we are now. Okay? That I know Anthony has another show going on. I know he goes live with Michael. I didn't know it was a regular thing, though.
Yep. It's 27 straight weeks of us looking at each other's handsome faces.
Good for you. My son has done his podcast. I think they're in their 4th year now.
Wow. That's awesome. Okay, big shout out to him, too. We should drop his link in the chat.
Proficient fans.
Deb, what's up? Good to see you. Appreciate you.
Hi, everybody. I had to wear.
Hey, Deb.
I had to wear the old Picksburgh.
The OG flea markets and yard sales T-shirt.
The collar is all faded and crinkly, and I mean it looks like it's been worn a million times, but it's been worn a million times.
That's good.
I appreciate that. You know,
of course.
In fact, Mama's been around since I've had like maybe 100 subscribers or less. She's been pimping me out to her jewelry ladies for longer than I can remember.
Let's I used to have more subscribers than Anthony.
Yep.
And he passed me.
Maybe will again.
Oh no, I'm not worried. I'm not worried about how many subscribers I have, as long as the ones I have money.
Mama's serious about collecting that profit, huh?
No, I've always
auction day.
I always say that the few I have are few, but they are mighty.
Yeah, you have a really loyal following.
I do. Sorry about my hair, guys. I just got out of bed. I've been rocking a dislocated left knee for about 6 weeks now. And my husband finally put me on bed rest today. So I made a knee brace for myself, broke out the ice packs. I've got to have an MRI. And I finally went on a little bit of bed rest for the knee. He's tired of seeing me fall into walls.
Yeah. I can imagine. I wouldn't want to see you fall
it's okay.
Walls either.
It's just pain. It's okay.
Probably powering through it. Yeah.
It's just pain. My hair is what it is. I didn't think to look at what I looked like. Sorry, guys. Not you. I don't care what you two think. It's everybody else.
Yeah.
Michael and I do know each other. We have met.
Yeah.
We have shared non-sexual bodily love.
We have broken bread.
Yes, and I do want to say congratulations.
That is a nice way of saying bread. I said that is a nice way of saying breaking bread, huh, Michael?
Yeah, Michael just got married.
Well, his daughter got married.
My daughter.
That was your daughter?
Yes, that was my
daughter. I was going to say, you married a hottie, Michael. I didn't remember the divorce, but but Anthony and I, we don't talk all the time anymore. But when we do talk, it's very meaningful. And like, I know his girlfriend and all of that stuff. Hi, Deb. I didn't have my chat up, Deb. I'm sorry. But I was like, okay, maybe Michael got divorced and he got remarried and he married a hottie. I thought you got married. Sorry, Michael.
No, that was my daughter.
Oh, she's very beautiful.
Thank you. How's my youngest daughter?
Ah.
But it'd still be a pretty good story to tell, huh? That Huddle Card collections out there, like a group of like groupies.
That could have been something we got straightened out. That could have been something we got straightened out prior to going live, but it took me 5 minutes to walk from the bathroom to my office.
Yeah. And guys, I want to just real quick, in the chat is a link to Mama's channel. She goes live once, if not twice a week for live jewelry auctions. So even if you like collect cards and you're not into jewelry like me, you probably have a girlfriend or a wife or a young hot groupie like Michael.
I've got lots of men. I have lots of men that are followers. In fact, I have some of the card collecting guys come in and buy from me for themselves.
Yeah.
I just had one of the card guys. I won't tell you who it is in case he wants to stay on the DL, but just came in my last auction I had. So y'all card boys love your mama. Yeah, ripping and flipping. Mama said what Mama says.
And that's the thing. You never know what Mama's gonna say.
and when I'm with the boys, it's really dangerous.
Yeah.
You think I'm bad during my auctions? I had to be really good because Deb had her mother over in my last auction, and I kept having to I had to be good on my own channel.
So, Kel, for people that don't know you, I know a lot of my viewer base probably knows you since like we've been friends forever. But for like anybody that's new over like the last several months since you've been on the channel, can you just like give a quick rundown of like what your channel's all about, the kind of stuff you do?
I have been an eBay reseller for 23 years. And I have been doing YouTube jewelry auctions for about 7 years of sterling silver jewelry, Native American, used to be costume and vintage costume jewelry and things like that. That's how I got into it because I collected that. But now I'm hardcore into the sterling. Pardon me. Sorry, I asked the Lord. I'm sorry I have to do this because this is me. I say this on my regular auctions. I prayed to the Lord to not be a farter and to be a burper. And now I'm both.
Yeah, so I was going to say you.
I'm sorry.
You definitely said that.
No, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I drank some pop and I burped. I apologize. So now I'm both. And so now I say, Lord, that's a really nasty joke. Thanks. But yeah, so I do sterling silver jewelry. I used to do 2 auctions a week. Now I do 1 auction a week, sometimes 2 auctions a week. It just depends. And then I sell a lot on in my eBay store.
Nice. What would you say percentage you do like on your auction versus your eBay?
Well, I do list my sterling and other jewelry items in my eBay store, but I do just a little bit of everything. I do clothing in my eBay store. I do things like I got a whole box at an estate sale. Hip Flippin' Daddy and I went to an estate sale yesterday, several of them. I got a bunch of these old 1950s puzzle boxes from Japan, so I'll be listing those. I do some sports memorabilia. I don't sell any of my Rocky or Rambo action figures, but There is a Muhammad Ali Gem Mint 10 slab up there that somebody sent me as a gift.
I wonder who that could have been.
I
Michael, just send
know.
her that.
It's displayed. It's displayed up there. It's displayed up there. But yeah, clothes and just basically anything. Glassware, vintage pottery. I love glassware. I just sold a vintage Tang pitcher, a glass Tang pitcher, promotional pitcher. That was really cool. I just sold some hair curlers. So really anything that will make a profit.
It's been a while, Derek. I actually haven't had a sale on YouTube probably since before I moved to California. I actually was thinking about having one because I have a bunch of slabs that are like $5 to $20 that I just want to get rid of. That I just don't really like have any use for anymore. So I actually might be like in the next like maybe month or so looking to put together something like that on the channel. I've done a few like over on Whatnot, but I don't have a huge following on Whatnot. So it's like I feel like I have better luck just going live on Instagram or like my own channel sometimes.
And when he does, I will be selling my entire football sports card collection by team. Nice. When he does. Just getting rid of all of them. My husband is no longer collecting. I'm selling all of my husband's collectibles, Anthony.
Oh.
He
has a lot of really nice ones.
Are you getting rid of all that crappy dolphin stuff?
Yeah. Yes, all the Tua Tagovailoas and the Dan Marinos and everything. Everything will be going. He's not keeping anything. But we want to move before fall.
So is he even parting with his helmet he got at the National? The entire
okay. No, boys. No, boys. He won't. I don't think he's parting with that. No.
I don't.
When Michael and Anthony and I were together, for the card show nationals in Chicago last year, my husband bought a Miami Dolphins helmet signed by the 72 Super Bowl team. About 90% of it. There were a few that had passed away at the time of the gathering with Don Shula shortly before he died, and the signing of the helmet. I won't say how much he paid for it, but it was Craig. It was considerable. I think he'll be keeping that.
I don't blame him. That's
probably
like one of a kind.
Probably with a lot of his signature items that I've gotten him and he's collected.
Hey, what's up, Dom? Good to see you, brother.
Hey, Dommy. Hey, Craig.
Lady fella's in the house.
Lady fella in the house.
Say there, lady fella.
Who's lady fella?
That's my lady fella.
Irene.
Yeah. Irene is in here. Is that ICM?
Yep.
Hi, honey. I saw you in the last video and I put a comment in there and I said, what the hell? What's with the back view and the quick with the hair? You were in the video, but you were in the thumbnail.
Yeah, she didn't get enough camera time, so we'll have to rectify that for the next one.
But I knew it was you. That's what matters. See, Irene and I know each other. We have spoken face-to-face digitally. We haven't shared non-sexual bodily function like Michael and I, and of course Anthony and I, but we've met digitally.
Yeah. She's not a huge fan of being in video, she says.
That's okay.
Which, like, being around me, it's kind of hard not to be. It's like, oh, something's cool happening. Let me put a camera on it.
She doesn't want to be in your silly sports videos.
And that's like the majority of what I do is like.
It is.
And then every once in a while, like we get to go to Disneyland or something fun like that. But yeah, most of it's like sports related stuff. Although I will give her props. When we met with Michael in Atlanta to go to Culture Collision, she like held it down at the card show. Like
Good
for
girl.
the entire day we were there, she didn't complain. She was digging through bargain boxes with me, and she actually like bought cards for herself.
I can hold it down at a card show too. Excuse me, do you have any boxing? Now it's strongman. I am so you don't even know this, Anthony.
I've seen on your Facebook that you like some
Oh
strongman
yeah,
stuff.
big time. And Tom and I went to or Hip Flippin' Daddy. Sorry, I forget that we're public. Hip Flippin' Daddy and I went to because Hip Flippin' Daddy's met Anthony and Michael too. We went to our first strongman competition, and I met a bunch of people, and I met one of the judges. The guy judging it was a former professional strongman who competed with like the not with the Eddie Halls and the Brian Shaws, but back with the older guys. I won't mention names because nobody knows who I'm talking about, but and he was so nice. It was nice to get to know him and some of the new guys. And I'm going to another competition in 2 weeks here in Kalamazoo. So
It's really cool. Yeah, that was pretty cool. She was trying to barter with a lot of the vendors there, so it was really cool to watch her.
nice.
Like, oh, okay, you want $1 for that? How about 50 cents? Like, so it was cool to see her out there wheeling and dealing her first time out.
I got something in the mail today.
Nice. What'd you get?
I know it wasn't from Anthony.
eBay standard envelope.
A shirt worn card from Robert Oberst.
Oh, is that one of the strongmen?
Yep.
Nice.
He
Really cool.
he was on the show, I don't know, on History Channel, with Eddie Hall and Brian Shaw and Nick Best and Robert Oberst, this guy here. They did a show called World's Strongest Man where they would go to different locations and do the feats that other strongmen, like in different countries, other strongmen from around the world, the supernatural feats that they did, they tried to recreate those. So like when they went to Ireland, they did the Dinny Stones, which are these humongous rocks with chains, and you have to pick the rock, and they're like 450 pounds a piece. You got to pick them up and walk with them. Oh, wow. Like 8 or 10 feet. Yeah, it was a really cool show. You guys can all watch it. Yeah, Magnus Vermagnuson, you got it, buddy. You got it, Dom. Magnus Vermagnuson, yes, baby. You hit me up, darling. We'll talk. I'm not a moderator, but on Big Laws' Lawrence Chalet. You ever heard of him? I'm a member on his channel and talk with him and his wife and stuff. He's a really nice guy. He was one of the big strong men. Sorry, I won't talk about strong men anymore.
No, I don't mind. I'm semi interested into it just based off of like Mark Henry. Like that's like the latest strong man I'm like knowledgeable about.
You know, Mark Henry was the first man to win the Arnold Classic. Giant strongman. Yeah. He was the very first one to win it when they started it like 20 years ago. Strongman has been around for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
What got you into that?
Honestly, when the big, everybody was into Game of Thrones, and then the guy that played the Mountain, who was half Thor Bjornsson, he's a dick. I don't like him.
Was he the guy with the burnt face?
Yeah. He was the blonde bitch's bodyguard. The one that was sleeping with her brother. I don't know their name. Yeah. But anyway, he's, the big guy. So then I was like, oh, this is the Mountain, and you start watching it. And then the 2017 Strongman competition comes up, and Eddie Hall wins the 2017 Strongman competition. Yes, 2017 strongman right here. Anyway, he promised his grandma he would win strongman before she died. So, and then he was doing double dipping on, well, I won't get into it because you won't know what I'm talking about, but Dom will, but he was double dipping. Dom knows what I'm talking about. And he's like, okay, he's begging Colin, like the guy who runs it, you and 2 other judges, we all get together, watch the video, and then if all 3 judges say, I double dip. And Colin's like, there were 3 judges. We ruled you double dipping in the act. You're done. So he went on a smear campaign against Eddie Hall, right? I don't like Hafthor Bjornsson. He's called Thor. They call him Thor. I don't like him. But I have Eddie Hall's book. I've got his book in the bedroom. Yes. Yes, Dom.
Really cool.
Yes. But anyway, so yeah, now he's got a bad reputation in the business. But the up-and-comers are Evan Singleton, T-Rex. He's from the U.S.
Nice.
He's the next, well, not up-and-comer. He's won a few competitions, but my money is on him for the future, for the U.S.
Eddie Hall does like eating challenge videos now, doesn't he? I think.
Well, he'll do diet swap with people.
Yeah.
Eddie Hall is primarily just a YouTube. What do you call it?
Personality.
Yeah, YouTube person. He's a content creator. So he makes, and it's so funny you say something, Michael, because I added up out of curiosity. He makes $750,000 at it's about $250,000 a month he makes a month off of just his social media.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, he did that thing where he and his wife did the calorie swap for a day.
Yep.
And she had to eat the calories that he ate.
She did it. Alex. They just had a beautiful baby girl on the 11th.
He was like,
their anniversary.
I'm so hungry. I can't do this. Because he's like, how do you go ahead and live on just this little bit of food? He couldn't. It was a pretty funny video.
Yeah, that was like 3 years ago they did that. I'm so deep into all of their social medias. It's just not even funny. I have a strongman folder.
Is strongman overtaking your love of boxing, or is boxing still like a huge love and passion of yours as well?
No, boxing is still my love. See it? Strongman. Yeah, so I keep
those stickers look just like me without a shirt. Believe it or not.
Yeah, I know. I keep track of when their competitions and stuff are, and so I can live stream them and stuff.
Nice.
But yeah.
Are they free to watch? Are they're free to watch online?
No.
Do you have to pay like a fee?
you have to know people that have connections.
Yes, you have to pay, Anthony. For the content of this video, yes, you have to pay.
Yeah, well, most of them aren't live streamed. You know what I'm saying? There are some that you can pay to watch on one certain platform. One of them, but you have to know people that are there, that are live. That are like will FaceTime you and you can watch and stuff like that. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Is there a big like strongman community there in Kalamazoo, or
no?
Like I know you said you've been to a competition in that area. I would imagine they've probably been through Pittsburgh. It's just like I've never seen like, hey, we're doing strongman today or something like that. How do you find that that's coming to your area?
If there ever hits one in Pittsburgh, I'll probably fly. Over there and stay with you for a few days, and watch the competition. And hopefully Irene will be there at the same time. That would be nice.
What I'm hoping for too. We have a little moniker called MTP where I'm trying to peer pressure her into moving to Pittsburgh. But the travel nursing assignments are better like elsewhere at the moment. So.
Yeah, nobody wants to live with your ass 24/7 anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't blame her there either.
I wouldn't want to live with myself 24/7 either. Poor Tom.
Who's the big guy from back in the day? Was it like Bill Kirk something, or was it
Yeah, Bill Kazmarek.
Casimir? Yeah.
They call him Kaz. The Kaz. Yeah. And
Was that Anthony the Gladiators, or was that somebody else I'm thinking?
No, but the guy that invented strongman, the guy that his name is Bill, Doctor, his wife's name is Jan. He just died. Anyway, he's the one that came up with American Gladiators and did American Gladiators.
Okay.
While he was trying to get strongman off of the ground. Nobody knew this was going to be a live stream about strongman, did they? No. Anthony's like, wow, she's really deep into strongman. He didn't even know.
Hey, Diamond Princess.
What's up? Good to see you.
Hi, sweetheart. How are you? How are you doing? I haven't seen you.
So.
No, I've never heard of him.
Huh. So I do have a jewelry question.
Yeah, baby, hit me.
So, you're a reseller and everything, and then what makes you turn to jewelry auctions on YouTube?
Money.
Because I have to believe 7 years ago there wasn't a lot of them. You had to be one of the.
Oh no, yeah. There were probably, Michael. There was probably 3 or 4 people that did jewelry on YouTube at the time. Not a lot of sterling. It was mostly fashion and costume. And I started doing it, and then I rolled into sterling about probably 5 or 6 months into it, and just, and then in my infinite wisdom of, sure, Mama will help you. I will help you. I'm hot. I will help you. Sorry, Anthony, it's got to come off.
You're all good.
I had to wrap my Picksburgh shirt. I helped a lot of people and helped them start doing their YouTube auctions online, which I created a lot of my competition. But that's okay. But I still had, I was one of the few people that had a gem tester that tests 16 different kinds of gems, and I'm still one of the only people that uses a refractometer, which will test every stone under the face of the earth.
Oh wow.
There's one other person that uses a refractometer, and I taught her how to use it. It's a piece of equipment that you use a specific type of oil, very expensive, and you shine a light. I'll show you what it looks like if I put it on right. And according to the shadows and how, don't make me big. I just took my shirt off. How the light refracts off of the stone, okay? It'll leave a shadow on the series of numbers in here.
Oh, wow.
See the numbers in there?
Yep.
And then that'll give you a number, and then you can look up the number, and there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. And I've got my own guides that I've done over the years and stuff. And that will tell you what that specific stone is. So you may have a stone that looks like 4 or 5 different types of stone. And you're like, well, it's going to be either this, or this. And you can use this science to narrow it down to specifically what stone it is, unless that stone is within the same family. Like, for example, you have what is called a quartz, which is commonly clear. You think of clear, quartz is going to be clear. Well, that quartz will turn into a citrine the older it gets, which is yellow. But then that citrine is going to turn into an amethyst, which is purple, the older it gets. And sometimes you'll get a stone that will be part citrine and part amethyst because it's in that transition stage. In that specific type of stone would be called an ametrine, okay, when it's both the citrine and amethyst. So this machine is not going to tell you if it's in the citrine stage or the amethyst stage because they're in the same family. But then you take the knowledge that you have to tell what stone you have depending on what stage of life it's in. Sorry, didn't mean to get too technical for you.
No,
so you could actually probably use that to make a lot more money on some things. Like, so if you get, like, say, a jar of jewelry, like, you know, that you have nothing, like, no idea about, like, you can go through and test all them jewels to see if anything's more valuable.
Well, and the thing is, this has such a learning curve to learn how to use this. And when I learned how to use this, I didn't have anybody to help me. There wasn't anybody around that was using it that could teach me. So I had to learn myself. Now I can teach other people, but the thing about it is I want to be able to, when I'm presenting something to you and I'm asking you to love it as much as I do and to buy it, I want you to feel confident that I know what that is. And I want you to feel comfortable and trust me in knowing that when I tell you that it's this specific stone, you believe me because I've got the science to back it up. And more than anything else, I want to know what that is first. I want the knowledge and the truth behind that item before I ever present it to you.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of, yes, it does raise the value of that item because you could present certainty to your customer and more value because you know what that is. That item will have a designer that you can give them information on if you're knowledgeable. It's got, that stone has a history that you can educate and provide people the history of it. So it's, to me, it's a fascinating business to be in.
Yeah.
There's,
do you have much? Sorry about that. Yeah,
oh, you're fine, baby.
I was just going to ask this the breaks question. Do you have much vintage jewelry in your inventory currently?
Most of it, yeah. 98% of what I sell is vintage.
Oh, wow.
Is there a specific reason you go with vintage over modern? Is it just more of a demand, or is it just like easier to attain?
Well, everybody nowadays is hinting for vintage. 50s and 60s is super hot. 80s is coming back in jewelry. We're seeing more marquees. But here's the thing. Vintage is quality. It's not like what's made today. Okay? There's the phrase fast fashion. Your Walmarts, your Myers, your mall brand clothing, that's fast fashion. It's not going to last you very long, and it's only meant to be in style for a season. Jewelry is very much the same way, but when you get into vintage, most of it, a lot of it is designer. Okay, so you can tell who, like Silpata is a popular. You can tell from looking at a piece of jewelry that's a Silpata. If you're educated in it or you're a collector of that specific type of jewelry, you know that it's Silpata. For instance, I love to sell 925 Mexico, and a lot of times Mexican pieces will come 950, and when you see the term, and I'll vomit knowledge on you guys, it's just who I am. I can't help it. But when someone says 925, it means it's 925 parts per 1,000 of pure silver. So for something to be sterling silver, it has to be 925 parts of that 1,000 to be sterling. A lot of your Mexico pieces are 950 or 970, mostly 950. So it's a higher. Hi Zach, it's a higher percentage of silver. And Mexican pieces are thicker, they're chunkier, they're heavier, they're just more quality pieces. And to me they're more beautiful. They've got more style. They're beautiful pieces. And then of course the Native American that I specialize in. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna ask if you've ever tried with the live selling you do with your YouTube channel and stuff. Have you ever tried like Whatnot or any of the other streaming platforms for the auctions? Or
I'm terrified of Whatnot. I don't know how to everything going on in my life right now. Mm-hmm. I don't want to take on a new avenue that I have to learn. Everybody keeps saying, "Mama, do Whatnot, do Whatnot. You'd kill it, and it's like, I don't want to learn Whatnot. I don't want to have to take the time out of my day. I have so little time as it is now, especially with my granddog now. I've constantly got my granddog to learn how to do that. You know what I mean? I have to struggle to stay on top of what I'm doing in my everyday. Take care of myself, take care of my businesses, take care of my son's dog, take care of my husband, take care of my mother. I have too many things up in the air to learn that. But I mean, I should. One day I will.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough though. I mean, if you're doing well enough between eBay and like your YouTube auction, no need to.
It's barely there. I mean, I went from making like $1,000 a week just on YouTube, not eBay, but just on YouTube, to less than half of that in the last 6 months. But it's picking back up again. Yeah, it's picking back up again. But
is jewelry something that's like always in demand? Like, do you like? I don't really know how to phrase this, but do you find people that collect jewelry to be as big a degenerates as people that collect like cards and other types of collectibles?
Well, it's a different demographic. Jewelry is very important to women, as are wallets, coolers, and ball caps to men. So women wear their jewelry to work. They wear their jewelry to church. They wear their jewelry to date night. They wear their house jewelry. They've got jewelry that they wear for themselves. So it's important for a lot of women to have that. So it is something that women are constantly collecting, and they have their favorite designers. They have their favorite styles. I do have the best prices on YouTube. If you can find somebody that sells better quality, cheaper, let me know, because I definitely. What's that?
I said, so you can buy from them.
Yeah, so I can buy from them. But no, I'm not a price gouger by any means. But yeah, I sell nice things, and I have a lot of people that are they're very loyal.
Have you?
Dawn was asking, the candy necklaces, are they worth anything nowadays? Like the old?
Oh, yeah, it depends on the year, the vintage, the flavor, if any have been sucked off or not.
Yeah, I would imagine that could earn a few bucks for someone.
Diminish the
value. Those candy necklaces wouldn't make it to auction because I would have eaten them.
Yeah, I probably would have too. I got to stay away from that stuff. As far as like any links to any of your stuff, Mama, your eBay store, is it just Kelly Haggard 9 or is it Hip Flippin Mama
No,
or
it's Hip
what's the
Flippin
easiest way?
Mamma. Hip
Okay.
Flippin Mamma. I have not been listing the last couple of weeks. I'm down to under 200 listings right now because it's still selling, and I have not been listing to replenish because I've been kind of off of my feet. My left knee right now I dislocated my left knee and it won't stay in socket now. So I have to be really careful. It will dislocate again, and then I have to put it back in socket. But if you know me, like Deb will tell you, Anthony will tell you, that's just pain. That's not a big deal for me. I have a pain disease anyway, so I didn't go to the doctor until the 5th week. So I thought it would get better. And then it kept popping back out, and I'm like, I better go to the doctor. So I went to the doctor just last week or the week before, and I have to have an MRI, and that's in 2 weeks. So
I would imagine jewelry is not something that you would list in bed. You know what I mean? Like,
I do
for
list it on
example,
eBay.
well, I mean, but laying from bed though, like if you're down, like your knees bothering you, like that's not something like you would want to have that professionally displayed on one of your mannequins or.
Oh no!
Like
yeah,
that.
No. I have to have my whole. I can't list anything in bed. I have to be in my office. I've got to have my whiteboards. I have to have my displays. I have to have all my stuff. This is just one of my boards.
What's up, Glenn?
But no, I have a certain setup that I do. And I have certain lighting, and I have my calipers. Hi, Glenn. How are you, baby? And
is there a certain pain regimen that you use to help you when you get inflamed like that? Or is it just something that you just grit out most of the time?
Yeah, I just grit out. I don't get pain medication, so yeah, I don't take pain medication. Even if I have it, I don't take it. So, but I have a new doctor now, and what she tells me is, Kelly, just because you can handle the pain doesn't mean you should have to.
For sure.
And so she switched me from my depression and anxiety medicine. Mm-hmm. She switched me because, for those of you who don't know, I do suffer with extreme anxiety, extreme depression. I also was recently diagnosed, Anthony doesn't know, with moderate to severe, I sound like an arthritis commercial, OCD, and PTSD, and ADHD. I have severe ADHD, but Anthony knew that.
So many initials right now, Mama.
I know, right? I sound so official.
I only know what like maybe one or two of those things mean.
Now, I just graded out. I have an extremely high threshold for pain. Extremely high threshold for pain, as does Anthony. Anthony does too. For those of you who don't know, Anthony deals with chronic traumatic pain from his days of professional wrestling. And, he struggles as well. But you'd never know it.
So what you're telling me, Mama, is
I'm a tough bitch.
You definitely are. I was trying to perfectly time something on my little soundboard, but my mouse died right before we went live. So I'm literally touch screening it. My fingers look like sausages. So like it's not working out.
Well, at least they don't look like bratwurst like they used to, right?
That's true.
Now they just look like breakfast sausages. We went from bratwurst to breakfast sausages.
Like little mini breakfast links. Can we just talk about how great Anthony looks, okay, guys? Can we remember 3 years ago? Anthony looked like me. I'm like the heaviest I've ever been in my life. I'm 321 pounds. I know I look like I'm 150, but I'm the heaviest I've ever been, and I'm doing something about it because my husband's forcing me to. He's not. But he threw the whole bait. What's gonna happen if I can't pull you out of the house? Okay. I'm doing something about it. So, um,
Well,
but you
I'll
look
be
great,
here for
Anthony.
moral support because I'm trying to switch up
Thank
my diet
you.
again too. There's something I was just talking to my uncle about today because he has a lot of issues with like joint pain and stuff too, and
Hmm.
he's found that like carbs and sugar are attributing to more pain for him. So like I may be switching my diet a little bit to like what he's doing to kind of try to see if that helps my pain at all. But
I
I don't know.
I've gone the whole route of eat the foods that decrease the inflammation instead of increase the inflammation. Like white potatoes increase your inflammation, where red or purple potatoes decrease your inflammation. But I'm setting up an eating plan, but apparently the professionals tell me I'm being too strict on myself. So um, I'm limiting myself too much. So I've got to fine tune and give myself more allowances. Um, so hopefully, but see, I'm post menopause and it's really hard post menopause to lose weight. And I should have done something more serious sooner. But I've got a girlfriend that just lost like 125 pounds. She's not doing keto, but it's very similar to what you did, Anthony. But I can have some things that you didn't
Yep.
have. So I maybe switching a little bit to that.
Nice.
So we'll
Let me
see.
know how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see.
Be pulling for you.
Well, thank
What's up,
you.
AJ? Good to see you, brother. He says, "How's the collecting?" Collecting's going well for me. I would say the buying has slowed down a
Me
good
too.
bit, but more meaningful stuff. Like, so I'm basically going from, buying, dozens of like 20, 50, $100 cards to like getting rid of all of those cards, like, and then moving into like the cards I really, really like, within the last few months, I acquired a Walt Disney rookie card, which was like one of my personal grails for like a long time. So that's been kind of my like big thing lately is just kind of moving into things that I like covet a little bit more. And because I could have 20 LaMelo Ball rookie cards. I don't collect the Hornets nor LaMelo Ball. You know what I mean? So like I have no attachment to that card. So I've been kind of
Yep.
moving a lot of those things I don't have like a strong attachment to into stuff I would. How about you guys? I know Mom was just showing off her strong man.
I still collect my boxing. I'm still into my boxing. See my little boxing little posters. All my boxing stuff is around here. You guys can't see it, but my two little boxing posters hit Flippin' Daddy brought home from the movie theater. But I've got massive boxing posters. I've got a 3.5 by 5 foot actual photograph of Mike Tyson that was commissioned by my son from the actual photographer who took it. And then he had it sent out once he got that professionally framed. So that is my pride and joy there. Um, that is like one of my favorite pictures of him, which was why he tracked down the photographer. But and then of course I have my Rambo and my Rocky collection because Sylvester Stallone's my boyfriend. But yeah, I've slowed down on the collecting, but I'm doing my strongman stuff now.
Yeah.
But I'm not selling. The only sports stuff I'm selling is just my cards. Because my husband doesn't want the cards now, the dolphin cards. My son doesn't want the cards. So when Anthony starts his sports card auctions up again, they're all going to be all per team. Whoever likes the Rams, you've got 300 cards from the Rams, great condition cards, crispy in this envelope. You'll get them. Boom. I'm
That's
getting
awesome.
getting out of them. One and done.
AJ said his son gave him a Mike Tyson autographed glove last year, and he's a big Sly Stone.
AJ, if you would like me to authenticate the signature for that, I can. If you want to send me a picture of it, I will authenticate the signature for you.
That's awesome that you know Mike Tyson's signature that well that you're able to do that.
Oh yeah, I know a lot of them. And in fact, when I'm looking at boxing gloves and things like that, a lot of times on auction, people will sell, especially like with shopgoodwill.com, they'll have a boxing glove up with a signature on it, but they won't say who the signature is because they don't know. So the first thing you do is you hone in as to if you can't recognize the signature right away. I'm really good with boxing signatures. You look at where that shopgoodwill.com is, and then you think, okay, what boxers came from that area? And then you start to hone it in, and then you can do your research and authenticate. Oh, okay, AJ. Nice. Cool. Mike Tyson's got 2 signatures. He's got an earlier signature and a later signature. So it's really important you get, because he's one of the Muhammad Ali, him, and Sugar Ray Leonard are the 3 most fraudulently done signatures.
Yeah, I can definitely see Ali for sure.
Well, yeah, it's easy to fake a Muhammad Ali because I
would imagine, especially towards the end of his life, whenever he was shaky.
The end of his life was the last 20 years, so his signature consistently changed. You know, like the signatures that I have of him that I got personally because we were with the family. The signatures I got from him are completely different than ones from earlier. So he's the number 1 faked signature. And how can that's why his signature doesn't hold much value really now.
What was it like meeting him in person? I mean, especially with you being like the queen of boxing.
Let's put it to you this way. I'm not going to say I was a friend of the family. Our boys played ball against each other. I would sit with his wife, Lonnie, in her Chanel sunglasses. She had so many pairs of Chanel sunglasses. And we would watch. I adopted the second ball team to spend time with the boys and hang out with them. And, when my boys were warming up. Okay. My husband was a coach. So, I didn't have anybody to spend time with. So I adopted the Niles team from Niles, Michigan. Muhammad Ali's son happened to be on that team. That's how I met him. And I didn't believe he was Muhammad Ali's son when he told me. I'm like, yeah, whatever, bullshit. And he's like, I want you to meet somebody. And I said, who do you want me to meet? He goes, you want to meet my mom? And I said, honey, if you're Muhammad Ali's son, I know who your mother is. Her name is Lonnie Ali, and I know exactly what she looks like. And I could probably draw every freckle on her face. And he's just like, okay, come on. Because I was a boxing fan. And she turns around and I went, you're Lonnie Ali? And she says, yes. And who are you? And so, we became friendly. And we would sit together and watch all the games and talk and everything. And I met him. I met Muhammad a few times. And I was sitting next to him one time. And Lonnie did everything for him. Lonnie spoke for him. Lonnie held his drink. Lonnie fed him. Lonnie did everything for him. She translated for him. And, he was trying to say something. And I leaned in and he asked me, in a murmur whisper, who my favorite boxer was. Now, Muhammad Ali was full of himself. And so he loved to be called champ. He didn't like to be called Muhammad. He liked to be called champ. And me, I'm naive. Who do you think I said my favorite boxer was?
Rocky Marciano.
Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson. He said, who's your favorite fighter? Mike Tyson. Oh my God. And so I started going off like this, and he gave me a dirty look. And then he holds his hand up real like, I said, "What's wrong with you?" I said, and his Lonnie is cracking up. She's about pissing her pants. She's laughing so hard, right? Because everybody's so kiss ass with him, right? And I'm like, what is wrong with you? Because I had met him before, but I mean, I'm just who I am. I'm like, you asked me a question. Why are you getting pissy with me? And Lonnie's like, he likes to hear he's the greatest fighter. And I'm like, but that's not what he asked.
Yeah.
That's not what he asked me. But
I would love to have seen him and Mike go head to head in their primes. What do you think would happen in that?
Oh, Mike Tyson would have not nailed it. There's nobody on the face of the earth like Mike Tyson. Not even Sonny Liston. And Sonny Liston was a beast. All right. Yeah. Sonny Liston was a murderer with legal weapons. Okay. But he still was not. And Joe Louis was great too. But Sonny Liston was in the mob. Okay. He did jobs for the mob and stuff. So he was an enforcer, maybe not a hitman, but he broke people's bones for money. And he was tough. And hi, Warcraft. In my opinion, Mike Tyson would have beat him. It would have been a damn good fight to see. But I don't think there's a person on the face of the earth, not even Rocky Marciano or Rocky Graciano. There's nobody on the face of the earth when Tyson was in his prime that could have beat him, because Tyson had that urge to kill.
Yeah.
You know,
that guy was just next level, man. I remember being a kid watching Tyson. This is just insane. Like, I still remember, I actually, my uncle had like one of them black boxes. I don't know if you guys remember those back in the day. It was like a clever way of stealing cable.
Yeah.
Or like pay-per-views or whatever.
Yeah.
So like we would always go over to his place and like be able to watch like all the wrestling pay-per-views or whatever. But I remember when Tyson and Holyfield fight and he bit off his ear. Man, that was insane.
Oh yeah, that wasn't that long ago. I guess it kind of was, but I can remember Tom and I were, I don't give a fuck. Tom and I.
Probably about 30 years ago.
It doesn't seem that long ago. We were sitting in the living room, not here, but going. We just both looked at each other, and I just went, I've lost all respect. I've lost all of respect. He is so jealous. He is so. I wanted to just walk up and slap him across the face and say, honey, I'll be your mama. Let me bring you back to reality. Because you know how I always feel, Anthony, I can fix everybody.
Yep.
You know, just come here. Let mama fix you. Let me make it all right. And that is so what he needed. And after Cuss died and his people forced everybody else out of his camp, he didn't stand a chance. Kevin Rooney was the last person in his camp that Mike Tyson even respected. And once he was gone.
You want to know that fight was in 1997.
Was it really?
You know when it was?
When?
June 28th.
Are you serious? It's exactly however many years ago. That's wild.
It's exactly 26 years ago.
Wow.
It was June 28th, 1997. I just looked it up.
That's crazy.
When he bit his ear?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, wow. It doesn't seem like, it seems like 15, maybe 20 years ago. Wow. It doesn't seem like it was
a while because I was like in middle school when it happened or whatever. You know, I was still like reasonably young.
But now, Mike Tyson is giving proceeds because he has his cannabis edibles called Mike's Bites. They're called Mike's Bites, and they have a picture of Evander Holyfield's ear with a bite out of it on the package, and Mike Tyson gives Evander Holyfield a percentage of those sales. And Evander Holyfield's like, no, man, I'm not going to do that. Why do I want to do that? Why do I want to make fun of myself? And Tyson's like, Evander, just let me do it. If it doesn't work out, I'll pull them. And he's like, oh, he loves it now. He's made dozens of millions of dollars just from that small percentage from Mike Tyson on Mike's Bites.
That's interesting. I've seen a lot of people going into that business. I think Ric Flair just went into something very similar, actually.
We've
I
got
saw someone on his podcast.
Kalamazoo. Sorry for my squeaky chair. I have to take it apart. It's like it's worse than your old chair, Anthony.
I know.
Kalamazoo has like the number 4 largest number of craft breweries in our town, and I mean we've got craft breweries like nobody's business. But now we are really getting like where there is there's a cannabis shop on every corner. They're everywhere. I want to get some edibles, but I'm looking for a job, so I don't want to be doping on the edibles at night so I can sleep and then fail a drug test. So
yeah.
I want to go back.
I wonder if that's applicable if you're applying to the dispensary.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I couldn't stand the smell, because that's what my husband said. Work at a dispensary, and I'm like, I don't think I can handle that smell with my allergies. But yeah, I want to go back to work. I want to try and do full time with benefits, and then hit Flippin' Daddy go part time.
Mm-hmm.
So because he suffers with rheumatoid arthritis, and I would like to. He's carried my fat ass for 38 years. You know what I'm saying? And I'd like to carry him at least into retirement.
That's awesome. Like
that
to me just says love right there. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know if it says love, but
I
it's
honor and respect him for.
Oh, Anthony froze right when he's saying good things about me.
Like, I'd like
right when he's saying good things about me, Michael, he freezes. Isn't that convenient? Okay, now rewind, go back and say it all over again because you froze.
Oh, my bad. No, I was just saying that that's very loving. To acknowledge like all that he does for you, and then want to take care of him now. As he's aging.
Well, you know, Anthony, you know everything that man does for me, and you know what I do for him. So it's we're this is our 38th year together. So, yep.
It's encouraging.
I was joking when I said I don't know if it's love, but it's commitment. No, I was joking.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would like to do that. I would like to do that, and he's earned it. He has been a wonderful provider, and he has carried me through our entire relationship. And even with my business going down 50% in the last year, because we split everything. We split all our bills and stuff. If I were to get to the point where I'm like, dude, I need $500, he'd be like, here's $500. So we got each other's back. I'd really like to do that for him.
Yeah, that's a really good goal. Now, was it him that originally got you into watching sports and stuff like that, or were you always kind of a sports fan?
No, I was born into a home of jocks. Mm-hmm. And my brothers played sports. My one brother was athletically gifted. I fell in love with a jock. I played sports in high school. I did track and softball and volleyball and cheerleading in middle school. But so, and then I had children, and then of course Clay. My daughter played sports, but she wasn't gifted in it. It wasn't her thing. But of course, Clay, who was extremely athletically gifted in football and in baseball, It's just something that's always been on the TV. It's always been top priority in the home ever since I remember. So I already had sports knowledge going into my relationship with my husband, but it only accelerated. You know what I mean? And then when my husband and I, as we were raising our children, we did a Sunday, those Sunday papers you get, like the Flashes or the Shopper. It's a paper you get once out of the week, and it's got local sales and things like that. And we would deliver those. It was our fun money. That's the money that didn't go to bills. It didn't go to baseball tournaments. It didn't go to out of town trips for the World Series games and stuff. Because our son played in the USSSA World Series and stuff like that. It didn't go to, he played on 4 different ball travel teams. It was just ours for our fun money. And we would always, after we were done with that, we would go to this bar. We would go upstairs. We'd lay on the leather couch, read the Sunday paper, drink a pot of coffee, drink a pitcher of beer, get nachos, get dinner, whatever. We would spend 5-6 hours there, and we would watch the Miami Dolphins game. We did that for years. So there was, the good old 90s of Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas and often Dinger, I don't know, Pete Stoyanovich, Dan Marino, Don Shula, all the greats. And, we would watch the games all the time. Now, basketball, I can't do. I can't do basketball. But I'd go to hockey game, Michael, as if you didn't know, Michael. You're appearing as though you're shocked at the things that are coming out of my mouth, but you know me well enough, Michael.
I know.
Like hockey games, we will go to, we have a local professional hockey team, and my husband was just bitching at me. You never go to the Red Wings anymore. You never go to the Red Wings anymore, or the Kalamazoo Wings. Why don't you ever want to go to the Kalamazoo Wings? It's because my ass doesn't fit in the seats anymore. We used to go to those all the time. We have a professional AAA ball team that we subscribe to every year that we go to those games. I just don't do basketball. I don't know. It's just always been part. It's just always been part of the life. My husband breathes sports.
So you're in Kalamazoo, right? Well, all this time. How does Miami Dolphins, when there's the Detroit Lions, when you're even close to Pittsburgh? I mean, I know Wisconsin may be but Wisconsin, Chicago, you have all that around you. How do you get to Miami?
There is still room in Steeler Nation too. Before you answer.
Well, I'm not fond of those colors. I don't like yellow. And the fact that T-shirt's gotten worn as much as it has only to do with my love for you, Anthony.
I appreciate that.
He doesn't know. I mean, when I was growing up, it was Detroit Lions, Barry Sanders, all the way, But circa 1985, baby, circa 1985, everything became the Miami Dolphins. He doesn't know. He was like 6 or 7 when he started liking the Miami Dolphins. He doesn't know why he started liking the Dolphins. He has no clue. It's just always been part of him. He's the only person in his family that liked the Miami Dolphins. He doesn't know why he always liked the Dolphins. He just has always liked the Dolphins.
Did he start before 72?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. He was born in 64, so it would have been 68, 69, 70. It might have been around that time frame.
That's a good time to fall in love with.
They did 72 and 73, or was it 71 and 72? No, it was 72 and 73. Or
But I'm
was it
just trying to
72 and
figure.
74? I can't remember. There are two.
74 is the Steelers. That was our first one.
Maybe it was
It was
72 and
72,
73.
72.
It may
I'm
have
just trying to
been.
understand. But I'm just trying to understand. You're like, how the Miami Dolphins on TV in Kalamazoo?
Baby, I don't know. I wasn't there. I was in diapers.
I'm like, I don't understand. I mean, like, I can understand, like I have a friend of mine who's from Connecticut who is a huge Miami Dolphins fan. And the
Yeah.
reason why, though, is because he would go down, he would spend his summers with his grandparents in Miami. And, towards the end of the summer before, because up in the Northeast, you don't start school until September. So while preseason is going on and everything like that, he would be down there, and he became a Dolphin fan. So I kind of get that.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to wonder, some guy in Kalamazoo is somehow watching Miami Dolphin football. It's not like you had direct TV ticket where you could go ahead and get Miami.
And Michael, it's a perfectly logical question, and I have asked him a few times. I have asked him a few times over the years. He does not have an answer, my love. He does not have an answer. If he ever comes up with one, though, once I share it with my son, I will share it with you. But there isn't going to be one because I have asked, that sweet little pillow talk after hot, sexy lovemaking. Why do you like the Miami Dolphins? The things that pop into your head as you're catching your breath.
Yeah.
I've asked him a few times over the years, and he does not know, Michael. I don't know. I have no idea. I've even asked his brother. Why? Do you know? I mean, was it like a commercial? Was it a certain player? He's like, I don't know. He just started liking them.
I liked him a little bit as a kid because Dan Marino is in it. He played at Pitt, obviously. He's from the area, and obviously Ace Ventura. It was like, what did your husband think of? You don't like Dan? I know you don't like Marino, but what did your husband think of seeing like his favorite team featured in like Ace Ventura?
Oh yeah, he thought that was funny. He thought that was funny.
Laces out. Laces out.
Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel.
My whole thing with Dan Marino, being somebody who was invested in the team and actually watched them for many of the years that he reigned, okay? And think about it. I don't know I think there's one other quarterback that was as exceptional of a quarterback as Marino that never won a Super Bowl. There might be one other person. I don't know if it's I don't know who it is, but I think that he got a little complacent. He didn't, and I know he had injuries. That's why he wore ski boots. But I think that he could have branched out a little bit more. But Shula ran a running game back then, though, too. Yes, there was. There was the throwing game. Of course, you've got Dan Marino, but Ricky Williams up the middle, Ricky Williams up the middle, Ricky Williams up the middle. And I think that Dan Marino could have made a bigger impact if he'd have cared. I just think he thought it was going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there were behind the scenes things that I had seen. I didn't like his attitude. This is why I don't like Mayweather. Mayweather's from Grand Rapids, an hour from me. I used to know his cousin. I should like Mayweather. I don't like Mayweather because he burned $100 bill. Now, do you know what the homeless could have did with $100 bill, or people that are trying to feed their babies could have did with $100 bill? This is why I don't like Mayweather. That's why I don't like Mayweather. Same thing with Marino. And what could and just same thing with Edelman. When little pussy baby threw his helmet in the tunnel because he got mad, okay? I don't, honey, you're so privileged. You're in a place, not just financially, that so many millions dream of, and you got to act like that. I don't have a place for that, so I'm not a fan of Marino. I really like Tua. I really, really like Tua, and I think I know that wasn't the question, but I'm going to talk because that's what I do. I think America is behind Tua. I think the Dolphins are going to have an onslaught. Yes, he is, Dom. Thank you. An onslaught of patriotism this year that the Dolphins haven't seen in a very long time, because when the bitches behind the Dolphins let Tua go out the way they let him go out, knowing he shouldn't have been on that field, America got behind him like a mother and a father protecting their child. This boy should not be on the field. And the Dolphins had to stand up and say, we're wrong. We've got to take some of the corporate out of this bullshit and value our players and not be pussy bitches grabbing every freaking dollar that we can. We got to look at these players not as machines, but as people. And I think it's probably the best thing that's happened to the sport in a very long time, because the Dolphins have taken the hit. The upper management has taken a hit, but the players are going to see the better part of that. That is my belief, and that's going to go around to all the other teams. And I think we saw that in this last season.
I hope so, because there's a lot of guys, like, for example, like a Percy Harvin, who's another guy. He played for the Vikings back in the day. Head injuries, basically. He was an electric player, wide receiver, and head injuries are what ended his career. And if he would have had a team that would have just pulled him out and, like, let him recover, you know what I mean, and taken it more serious, he could have had a real NFL career.
Tua's a baby. And, you know, I've collected his cards for a few years, you know, but he's just a baby. He's 22, 23 maybe now. He's just a baby. He's got no right being treated like that. You know, he needs somebody to stand up and protect him. And now, I mean, America did that. And so I
you know, overall, I just don't know how they protect those guys. I mean, I don't do. I think the only way, you know, I mean, it's sad. I don't, you know, like, I don't know what you could do. You know, is there a helmet that can be designed that can do something better for me? I mean, that's the only thing that I get weary of and stuff like that. I'm just thinking along those lines of what can we do to protect these guys?
Michael, I think that they've got all of the as up-to-date and current equipment as they can be. They've got the rib protectors. They've got the neck thing in the back. They've got the back pads. I don't think you can pad those babies any more than what they're. I'm sorry, I'm getting some water. I don't think you can pad those babies any more than what they already are. It has to come at this point. It's got to come from management. They have to step in and make the calls. Make the calls to keep those kids off of the field.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to. Those kids will bite off their feet to get back, you know, to let themselves loose from the chains to get back out on that field.
Well, of course, when you look at the situation that a lot of them come out of and stuff like that, and you know, and I think the truth is that although I think we want the owners and the league to truly care about the players, I think there is a part that they look at and go, you know what? For every one guy, there's 100,000 or more that would take that one person's position.
Oh, for sure.
And I think that's where the incentive. That's where we have the lack of incentive to go ahead and truly do something for these guys.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, it goes to be said with the wrestling industry also. These guys are at such a level, Michael, that they don't they're not thinking of tomorrow. They're thinking of today because their money-making opportunities are right now. Dom, I saw your question, baby, and I will answer your question in just a minute, sweetness. I promise. Mama promises. Their money-making days are right now, and those days are going to have to last them the rest of their lives. Okay, and life expectancy now, you're looking at 100 years. So they're going to do whatever they have to do to provide for their family. And for many of these, I'm not just talking, black kids, okay, but for many of these players, so many of them come from impoverished backgrounds. It's not just their wife and children that they're trying to provide for a life. It's their parents, their grandparents, their aunts, their uncles, their brothers, their sisters that they're trying to provide for a lifetime. These players have become the parents in that they want to give to their families what they've never had before, and they're going to put their lives on the line to do that. You've seen that in the wrestling industry even today. Now, not as much today because you don't see in wrestling, you don't see the big guys anymore. Okay, you don't see the big, the Hulkamaniacs and the Tito Santana wasn't that big, but Ricky the Steamboat Dragon or
Andre.
Andre wasn't muscular. He was just huge.
Like Ultimate Warrior.
The guy that murdered his girlfriend.
Guys that look like me without a shirt.
Jimmy Superfly Snuka. I just sold.
Yeah.
I just sold his action figure. Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Dom, I promise I'll get to your question, baby. You don't see the Ultimate Warrior and all that. You don't see those bodies like that in wrestling anymore because number one, they're getting away from the steroids. Number two, they're getting away from what's going to kill them tomorrow, and you don't see all of the head slams and things that broke Anthony's neck and back. You don't see as much of that nowadays, not nearly as much as you used to, because there's awareness now. So that game is different, but still they're willing to do things that they shouldn't do because they've got to make their money now. Okay. And it's the same with football. It's the same with race car driving, and the whole thing with Dale Earnhardt when he died. I always say with every tragic event, something good has to come out of it. With Dale Earnhardt, his death saved so many lives because of all the safety protocols that came into play after he was killed. It's a completely different sport now. And that's because he died, and it took someone of his caliber to die in order for that to happen. And it's funny because I was watching an interview with Junior in one of his dad's behind the scenes guys talking about his it was his backup driver and who actually seen him. He was 3. Earnhardt was 1. There was another car between him when he was 3, and he actually saw the impact of the car on the wall. He actually saw Earnhardt die. And they wouldn't go into detail. He's never told the story of what he's seen, but it takes those tragedies to happen. But you're never going to get away from that, Michael. To answer your question of 20 minutes ago, you're never going to get away from that. You're always going to have that. And to a certain point, you're going to see it in basketball because you're going to see the guys diving into the stands. You're going to see the guys breaking the whatever those things are.
Backboard.
Yeah.
Backboard.
You're going to see them doing those thrilling things that could jeopardize their health. Not really so much. I'm sorry, but they're babied. Just like baseball players, unless you're an Ichiro or a Derek Jeter or somebody who came from Kalamazoo and does all those diving catches. Man, Ichiro, dive, catch, boom, throw, hit. 2 outs by the time he hits the dirt.
He was in Kalamazoo as well, Ichiro?
No, just Derek Jeter.
Oh, okay.
Nice kid. At least he used to be.
I was going to say, I thought Ichiro was like Japan or Japanese or...
Yeah, no, I've never met him. I don't know him. Okay, so Dom, to your question, my love, I will show you. I'm not going to give you a full tour of the office, but I will show you my most prized possession. Part of it is because, crap, the bag. Part of it is because it's from my son. But do you see that right there? That right there, that is a photograph. That's his crotch right there. I don't really like his crotch in my face, but I'll deal with it. So that right there of Mike Tyson is a photograph. It's not a poster. And then I've got things like that. That's a silk print. And then I've got all of my Rambos and all my Rockies, and I've got boxing stuff all over my office. I've got, like I said, that Gem Mint 10 of Muhammad Ali. Sorry for my chair. I have certain I don't want to get up and stand up because I don't have a bra on, but this was a gift. So this is one of my prized possessions.
Have you ever seen him fight, like in person?
Muhammad Ali?
Yeah.
No. I've only seen one professional fight, and that's because we had a friend that was a fighter. But
Okay.
he wasn't like on ESPN or anything. But yeah, probably.
Is that something you would do? Like, I know you used to go to Vegas for like eBay Open and stuff like that. Like, that seems like that'd be like a bucket list thing. Go see like a big fight.
Oh, absolutely. When I went to Vegas for eBay Open, I didn't leave the hotel. I didn't gamble while I was there. I was there for business, and I was there without my husband, so I wasn't going to do anything like that. I was there for business, and you have to remember, with my fibromyalgia, I had flown for the second time in my life by myself without my husband. I had never done anything without my husband. Okay. I met him, I had just turned 17. And so I did that by myself. Thank God I adopt people along the way. And I had a little boy that sat next to me. His name was Cole. I think he was in his 30s. And he held my hand and called me Mama. And he was there for me the entire flight and held my hand when we took off. I grabbed his thigh. I didn't mean to, but that's what I would have did to my husband, was grabbed his thigh when we took off. He was completely fine. Hello, God is great, and God is great.
Amen. See you. Appreciate you.
So I had people that helped me through that, but I didn't want to have a flare up with that. The excitement of the flight, the excitement of going to eBay Open and having people scream my name and run to me. I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't even monetized at that point. I didn't know anybody would know who I was. I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for any of that, and it was a lot for me. So by 6:00, I was in my hotel room every night while everyone else went out partying, and I took a bath because we had a luxury room. I took a bath, and I rested for the rest of the night, and I got up and I went to the classes and the seminars, and I did what I was there to do. But I didn't do anything else. I didn't go to the strip. I didn't do anything when I was there. I didn't gamble. And I was so stupid. What was I thinking? I was in Vegas. But I don't know. Part of me just didn't feel right without my husband.
Now, would you recommend that experience? Like, I don't, from what I understand, are they still doing eBay Open, or
no, it is purely an online, and I've done the online eBay Open every year, and it's nothing like the face-to-face experience. You get to go and meet everyone and all the people. Like, that's how I met Lindy. That's how I met Rally Roots, because you have these relationships behind the scenes, but then you get to go and you meet them, and then you become friends, and it's a wonderful experience. They keep you fed, and they kept you drunk. You did not have, dirty trick, Lord, burper and a farter. I said either or. Sorry. I talk
You're
to the
good.
Lord. I talk to the Lord all the time. They provided the alcohol. They kept you alkied up, but it was a wonderful experience. And I didn't pay for it. It was a gift that was provided to me by a friend,
Mhm.
and my expenses were paid.
Would you
So
recommend it? Like, do you
I
feel like it
would.
improved your business?
I would. I would. If I could have afforded it, I would have went the next year. For some ungodly reason, people love me enough to want to provide gifts like that to me. And people try to do it quite often. And people love me enough to send me these kinds of gifts. Those who shall remain nameless, Anthony. I don't know why people love me that much, but they do.
Because you're awesome.
Well,
Yeah.
they provide me airline to come and see them. So I get around, but it's I turn down most everything. But
I don't know why people. I don't understand why people like me. I get around.
I married my first. Okay.
So, question. So, is eBay open about reselling? Is it about eBay?
It is 100% about the platform. How to be successful within the platform. One of the seminars was the title, how to do your title. And every year for eBay Open, this is what I pay attention to the most. And this is what I write down because every year it's a little bit different. What word should come first in your eBay title? What is important? Like 2018 is the eBay Open that I attended. And that is the one where everything was white background. Google likes a white background. That's when everybody switched to the white background. And it was life-changing and very informative. And I learned a lot from those classes. If you actually go to the seminars, okay, and they're like little classrooms where you sit in a chair. If you're serious about it, like I was, you have your notebook, your pen, you're taking notes, or you're videotaping the seminar, which they will let you do. They do little like sidebars, like a job fair type of thing, where they'll take your picture so that it'll be and it's free. It's all free. If you want to have that professional photo in your eBay picture so that you're properly represented, how to grow your business. There's seminars for everything. And yeah, it was a once in a lifetime. I mean, it's like what I learned there, I'll never forget because I still have the notebooks.
Yeah.
I still have the notebooks of them, and I still go through them, even though that was 5 years ago. I still go through them, and I still implement what I learned. I'm an education whore. I like to learn. So, that's what I was there for. A lot of people didn't even go to the seminars. They bought the $300 or $400 ticket and they ate the food, drank the booze, and partied. That's what a lot of people were there to do. But I actually did the seminar, and there were a lot of us that just did the seminars and stuff. So, but yeah, it was a great experience.
Yeah, I just didn't know because I was wondering, because you hear a lot about, a Rally Roots, a rock star flipper, you hear a lot about, some of the bigger YouTubers, or the groups of, groups that get together and they have their own, eBay Open type things where they meet somewhere and they have classes and so on and so forth. So that's why I was wondering if eBay started to see that and was like, well, hey, we don't have to pay a lot of money and try and do all this other stuff because we see it's happening in different pockets throughout the country.
Katie and Vicky, who are dear friends of mine, but they do a reseller rally now. It's called Reseller Rally, and it's in October every year, and they sell tickets, and they have guest lecturers, and it's just like eBay Open. And they put it on themselves along with they have friends that like Team Money, Teresa, what's her last name? I can't think of her real last name. But they have a lot of eBay connections. But they're in Las Vegas, and California's right there, and eBay's in California. But eBay, they get a lot of eBay merch and stuff like that for it. But so and I've heard that's a really great get together. I've never gone or even entertained going to anybody's except for the reseller rally with Katie and Vicky, but they're friends. So if I were going to go to one, that's the one I'd go to.
Where's that located at?
In Vegas.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, in Vegas. Okay. But it was really nice to be able to meet a lot of people and just really cement those friendships. That was nice.
Well, I think you look at it when Casey, Rockstar Football, was on with us, he said there was a big one in Phoenix that was going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that I think did the Bearded Flipper do one? I can't remember. There's some guys.
Yeah,
some guys like on a riverboat. They do one on a riverboat.
That's why I think with the Cincinnati Picker and those guys.
I saw that.
I'm not in any of those cliques. I'm not even in Katie and Vicky's clique. I'm not. I don't belong to any cliques, so I don't. It's not. There aren't a lot of resellers in my area. I mean, there are, but we don't get together or anything like that. There's no one that's prominent or anything like that. So.
Yep.
Had a very blessed day. Thank you.
It's a. I mean, from what I've heard, there are a lot of people. Like you said, they go, they learn. I think a lot of people go. More not only necessarily just to learn, but to kind of make those relationships and make those relationships a little deeper, rather, when you can actually, meet somebody, face to face.
90% of the people go to party. And then you've got your mom and pop people that that's how they make their living, and they're serious about it. A lot of older husband and wife couples. And a lot of disabled people. I'm a disabled person. I don't get disability. Anthony's a disabled person. He doesn't get disability. That's how we try and make our living, because we can't cut it in the real workforce any longer because our bodies won't let us. And that's where a lot of your resellers come in. If you really look at the backgrounds of a lot of resellers nowadays, there's a lot of mental health, which there's nothing wrong with that. There's more people affected with mental health, like myself, than there isn't. There's more mentally ill people in the world than there's not. And it's not mentally ill people. It's mentally living. Okay. We're not ill. It's, we didn't choose to have chemical imbalances in our brain. It's just what we have to live with. So people that have chronic pain, chronic illnesses, this is how we make our living, because we can take care of ourselves anytime that we need to. So there was a lot of people like that. They are in their scooters or in their wheelchairs and things like that. People that really, really took it seriously. For every 3 partiers, there was one dead set serious person like myself. Like I don't know what was said about me behind the scenes, but I don't really care. I just wouldn't go out, I couldn't. I knew I couldn't. Number one, I drink too much. I would have. And that type of activity is not appropriate without my husband. That's my heart. So I wasn't going to do it. But yeah, a lot of people take it seriously. Like you, Michael, you would take it seriously. Anthony would take it seriously. Like we'd be a good
the groupies.
Yeah, we would be a good threesome, to do it. But yeah, I hope one day they do it in person again. I don't think they ever will. But
I don't think they ever. I don't think they ever will, because I don't think that I don't think they feel that there's a need to anymore. Because once you, I think they probably looked at the the virtual stuff. It was easier for them to do. They're not having to worry about going to a big city where they can, where you have, because you're limited also when you think about it, right? Because if you're really trying to promote the crap out of it, there's not a lot of cities that you can go to that are going to potentially be able to have that many hotel rooms, for you. So if you can do it digitally, you can do it virtually, and that type of stuff, it probably makes sense to, to continue, to do it that way.
Yeah.
And then I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I mean, to me, I personally think that there is more and more of a feeling going around between a lot of the people that resell is that it is more about the buyer than it is about the seller, and stuff like that, which
for sure.
I mean, which I get. I mean, and I mean, that's the way, it should be, what I'm saying, from that standpoint. But I think, it boils down to, that. I think, part of it they may be afraid of, and I use the word afraid, but they may be afraid of doing a live event, because you get people showing up that are pissed off, and then they make a change, and it's like, well, you're doing this and you're screwing me, and I'm a little guy, and I'm not this guy who has, 100,000 listings and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way to me, I think they worry about it becoming a bitch session, right? If it's virtual, let people, all they're going to do is type.
Yeah.
And that chat's going to go by quick. I don't even have to see it.
Well, you don't have to pay the venue. You don't have to feed everybody. You don't have, I mean, granted, their tickets were $400 and some a piece. Okay. Times, I don't know if there were 5,000 people, maybe 4,000 people in that main conference room when they did their opening. And that's just the people that were there. Okay.
Right.
There were so many thousands of people in that room for the opening lecture. And that was the CEO of eBay at that point. He's not there anymore, but that was the CEO of eBay at that point. And you're talking $450 a pop. They made their money. Even though they had to feed everybody, even though they kept us all drunk. Oh, I wasn't drunk, but there was a lot of people there that were drunk. It's cheaper for them in the long run just to do everything digitally. There's no insurance to have to buy. There's no liability.
Yep.
Could you
imagine the size of the team it would take to coordinate all of that?
Exactly. And there were a lot of staff. There. A lot of staff. And they were all, a lot of them were from California. So, and there were the bigwigs from eBay were there too.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I met a lot of the higher ups at eBay. I didn't really care to, but yeah, and they were,
You still have
and
any connections there?
here's the thing, they were trying to really get in and hobnob with the big YouTubers, like Rally Roots and Lindy and things like that, and they would ask you questions about them and try and get in with them and stuff. And it was just really funny to see. I'm like, you guys run this big old company. What do you want with these guys? And they're interested in getting, I don't want to say the word of God, but the word of eBay, out to the world through these big YouTubers. It was quite something to see, because YouTube wasn't then what it is now. In 2018, YouTube was big, but it wasn't then what it is now.
Oh yeah. Do you feel like COVID and the boom there had anything to do with eBay being as big and powerful as it is today?
I do. Everybody and their brother turned out to be a reseller when COVID hit, because you've got people that can't work because their companies aren't in business right now. If you weren't a what did they call it? My husband was one of them. I don't know, a necessity or a necessary worker or whatever.
Yeah.
Which my husband was one of them. So he was never off of work. But yeah, you had to work. But you've got all of these millions of people at home doing what? Collecting twice their pay because they can't work. And let's be a reseller, and that had a lot to do with the recession of certain parts of the industry. And a lot of that, 80% of that falls off. They're like, okay, wait a second, this is real work. This isn't just fluff job. This is actual work, okay? I'm not going to do this. And it falls off. But a lot of people stuck with it.
Yeah.
A lot of people stuck with it, and it worked for them. Essential workers. Thank you, Dom. Thank you, baby. Mama loves you.
I'm surprised we haven't heard a sock question yet tonight, Dom. Dom is our resident sock collector. Yeah, he likes to collect socks.
Dom does?
Yeah.
Dom, what kind of socks do you collect, and what are they used for?
I would imagine footwear, but I mean,
he makes.
We have gone there today, haven't we?
Sock collecting is actually a thing. It is actually, sock collecting is actually a thing. There are people that sell nothing but extravagant socks. Socks that are colorful, socks that have that stupid Precious guy from Lord of the Rings. There are people that are digging socks. My son gave me a whole box of socks one time, a couple years ago. Of course, they were worn, so I couldn't sell them. But when I say worn by one of us, we're rough on everything. And I'm like, these are really freaking cool socks. I ended up keeping some of them because I don't want to wear things of my son's, okay? He's a man, he sweats. But yeah, and I kept some of them. They're cool. Yeah, see, Dom, I'm just kidding.
Sock mania is running wild right now.
Dom, I'm just kidding. Honey. But yeah, there are. I see them on TikTok all the time.
My son has socks that have our dogs' faces on them.
Nice.
Yeah. But you know what? A lot of that, though, too, happened after Rob Kardashian came out with designer socks that had phrases on the bottom of them. and pictures and stuff like that. When he was on the Kardashians, he came out with a sock line, and that's when a lot of that took off. Fun fact.
They have a nice business sense. I mean, I won't say a whole lot positive in regards to the Kardashians, but they make millions of dollars.
They're geniuses. That Kris Kardashian or Kris Jenner, she knows what she's doing. She knows. And Ryan Seacrest is behind that show. I don't know if you guys know that. I've never seen an episode of the Kardashians, but Ryan Seacrest is the executive producer. He and Kris Jenner put that whole show together. So Ryan Seacrest is a freaking genius. Kris Kardashian or Kris Jenner is a freaking genius. And they're all business wizards. They know what they're doing.
Ryan Seacrest is the new host of Wheel of Fortune.
I know. I saw that. As if he didn't have enough to do, right?
Yeah.
Who was Rob Kardashian?
That is Kim and Khloe's brother.
Yeah. I think he knows who Rob Kardashian is. Yeah, socks are cool. Socks are a whole industry.
Yeah.
Totally. It's amazing.
Because almost everybody needs them.
Just like, oh my gosh, I want to get the guys a pair of these so bad because I think they would be life-changing. Just like those men's underwear that have the nut sack in them.
I didn't know that there was such a thing.
It's got a little hammock for the testes. There's a hammock for the testes so that Michael, shut up, so they don't stick to the legs.
What's up, Brady? Right? Good to see you, brother.
No, I don't know anything about testes sticking to the legs. I know about a good ball sack scratch, though. You still got that, Anthony?
I do. Yep. I do have some marble ones. That is correct, lady fella.
What did I just jump into? Nothing. It's just mama. I want to get my husband and my son a pair of those underwear that have the ball hammock. I didn't
realize they had a hammock underwear.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna pull a pair up for you. They're amazing. Michael, shut up. You invited me.
Thank God it's almost midnight.
Michael, you invited me. No, but I don't know what it's like, but I've heard. Okay, I've heard what that can feel like. So I think that I just don't want to pay $28 a pair. They just show them with eggs in the sack. That's all.
Yeah. Lady fellas seen him in store.
Yeah,
I'm more than willing to promote them if they want to send us over a sponsorship. I'll put the eggs in the basket for them.
I think it's genius. Whoever came up with this, I mean, I can't find a picture of the inside. Who wants to see a bulge? Nobody wants to see that.
Yeah, exactly, Mark. He says, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Picksburgh After Dark. This episode of Collecting Pennies is brought to you by...
I was good for a really long time.
You were.
You definitely were.
And it was nothing like what it used to be behind the scenes, huh, Anthony?
Correct.
I think this is a pair.
Very true.
Well, that's not really. I'll show you it, but how do I share screen on here? I'll just show you like this. That's kind of sort of like it. But normally it's like an actual hammock. It's just like a pouch. It's a pouch.
And bag, if you will.
It just looks like it would be comfortable. Not for me, but for a man.
I would hope not.
I'm very empathetic.
Yeah.
Look, I've seen them on TikTok a lot, and they always show the inside, and there's eggs in the pouch. There's
Damn.
eggs.
No,
There's
I'm
eggs
getting
in the pouch.
Saks
Things
underwear.
you can
Is it
see
called
on
Saks?
TikTok.
Hmm?
The ballpark pouch? Lady
I
fella
don't
just sent
know.
me their website.
Here, now this website's using golf balls. This is they're using golf balls.
This is a brave guy. Like,
You can't see it. Oh yeah, there you go.
it's probably for the best. Good
You
God.
just fell off your bed. No, you did not.
Poor guy. Sorry, Mark.
You did not just fall off your bed. You better say you fell off your bed because I'm so damn beautiful.
Mark just dislocated his knee.
He fell right into the ballpark pouch.
I did not have to fall off my bed to dislocate my knee. Bull
We should-
sack.
I almost want to like reach out to the owner of this company for an interview now. I'll be like, dude, what were you thinking like when you created this? Like,
A woman created them.
really?
Mm-hmm. Because she got tired of seeing her husband adjust himself all the time.
Interesting. I've seen like a certain kind that
That's
come
the-
like
that's
scented.
The
So
story I
like,
heard.
like, if
Irene
you're
says
smelly
it's
or whatever.
underwear.
Like, yep. Lady fella just dropped the link for anyone who's interested. Saks, feel free to send us a
Lady fella.
little royalty check.
Okay, here's a visual for you. My camera's caught up. There you go. I'm not going to show you the other ones because I don't approve.
Yeah, that's true, Mark. If you're gonna go, you might as well go Ned.
Look, I just think.
All I gotta say is this episode has been nuts.
Yeah, I just think. Look, I just think that whoever came up with that, it was a genius idea. I just think that because one of the things here we go. Here's what I was talking about.
Hey, people are buying it. More power to them.
I hate to see men adjust themselves. I think it's the most disgusting thing. I think it's the most disgusting thing to ever see. I just think all of that is nasty, except for my husband's. I just think it's all nasty, and nobody wants to see that. Women don't want to see that. That's not attractive to us.
And there's a lot of
So
people.
it's like the equivalent of the bra.
Nobody likes to see that either. That's why I'm not wearing one.
No, we were talking business. You're right,
Tom, you are so right. Look, I cannot be held responsible. I cannot be held responsible for what comes out of this mouth because what pops into the head comes out of the mouth. But I will say this. What popped out of the mouth enthralled the attention of both of these guys and the chat and visuals and links. So it's not just me that thinks it's genius. And for everybody, since you love what comes out of my mouth so much, I did drop my link in there if you want to give me a follow.
Also, the pinned comment for you guys too. It'd be easy for you guys to find. It should be the very first comment.
He pinned it. Just go follow. Just go follow me, and you can just click no reminders. I don't care. I just want the subs.
Yeah, guys, go give Mama some love.
I am going to start putting out some eBay content though, because that's where primarily my focus is going. Because when the sterling silver auctions started to go down, then the eBay starts to go up, and so I am going to be putting out some YouTube content and for eBay, and it's going to be beginner stuff. I did a series on eBay tutorial type of content on an interview show. I'm not going to mention that show because I don't relate with that person any longer. Not that I'm God's gift to this planet, but I don't approve of her ethics. So I'm not going to mention her show, but I used to give tips and tricks and things you should do as a reseller, things you shouldn't do as a reseller. I'm going to bring all of that to my channel now. So that was several years ago, but I am going to be putting out some content for that. So
Good.
if you're thinking about, and this goes for card sellers, this goes for anybody, sock sellers, it goes for anybody selling on eBay.
And she knows her stuff too. I used to always pick her brain on like clothing, glassware, like
I'm really
anything feminine.
I'm really good at guessing how like the size of a stuffed animal.
You really are.
Just visually. Yeah, Anthony and I used to play a game where during the auctions he would be like, he'd hold it up and I'd be 14 inches and he'd be like, it's 14 inches.
Yep, and then she guessed the stuffed animal too.
All right, now that joke is
Sorry, it's Pittsburgh after apparently tonight.
That's a behind the scenes joke.
I think it's time to refer everybody to your channel. Yeah.
You think now it would not get really like spicy with Michael in the room, but if it were just Anthony and I, Anthony is the one dude, the one and only dude on the face of this earth besides my husband and my son, just a little bit, I'll go there with, just joking. You know what I mean? Plus we talk about things that people just don't talk about, like women problems and men issues, and we watch inappropriate movies together that I forget that are inappropriate until they're playing, and then I feel uncomfortable. Good time.
Mark says they have that commercial for the most interesting man in the world, but you are the most interesting woman.
Thank you. See, now I know that some of you may be thinking that's a negative, but no, I take it as a compliment every second of the day. I do. That's a compliment. Thank you. Look, there can only be one of me in the world, and I'm right here.
That's true.
I'm right here with you right now. So
I don't think more than Kalamazoo could handle it.
Hit that subscribe button, and you can have this anytime you want.
So, any last second things, Mama, you want to talk about for your channel or anything coming up before we start to wrap up the show? I don't want to take up too much more of your time. We've been going about 2 hours.
I'm in a hyper mood now. I'm hanging with the boys. I'm in a hyper mood now. I feel good now. I hit it. Thank you, Breaks. Mama loves you. Mark's already subscribed, aren't you, Mark? He subscribed a long time ago. No, just, look, if you're looking for that little special something, I am starting to carry men's jewelry on a more consistent basis. I only have a couple pieces of men's jewelry right now, and they happen to be copper. I have a couple of men's copper bracelets. You subscribed twice. Thank you, Mark. I've got a couple of men's copper bracelets. I've got a men's copper ring. But I am starting to actually seek out the men's items because I have more and more men customers not just buying for their women, but buying for themselves. Like I do pick up copper when I can get it. This is 48 grams, you guys. So, and that's this is a 7.5 or 7 3/4. So I do have men's stuff. And if you tell me what you're looking for, I'll get it. I have a lot of people that don't come to my auctions that I personal shop for. They tell me what they want. They give me a price point. I give them a price point and I buy it and I sell it to them. So, and I have people that don't come to my auctions that will watch my auctions later and will purchase from me that way. And I have people that I do private showings with. So they get to see things before they hit the auctions. So if that's something you're interested in, that's a service that I provide also. What are my favorite pair of socks? You're going to send me some socks, aren't you, Dom? And I'll let Anthony give you my address and I will take them. It would be boxing socks, of course, baby. Boxing socks, socks that have something to do with boxing. Yeah, baby. Anything boxing. We didn't talk a lot about boxing tonight, but I have loved boxing since the Donnie Lalonde Sugar Ray Leonard fight in the early 90s. No, it was the late 80s because I was running a cable company. I was pregnant for my son, who's 33 now. So that's how far back it goes. That's when I learned the art of boxing and that it is actually an art. If we could just get rid of the crooked judges, it would be a wonderful sport again. Oh, Mark, thank you so much, baby. I appreciate that. I'm not boring, right? Definitely not. Definitely not boring. But I appreciate you so much, Mark. Anthony, you're muted. You're muted, honey. Uh-oh. I broke your channel. Michael, say something.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can't hear you, Anthony. Guys, thank you for tuning into the show. It's been wonderful having you here tonight. And yes. I'd like to thank our special guest, Flippin Mamma, a.k.a. Kelly, a.k.a. my homegirl, a.k.a. the woman that I go to when I need to talk to somebody that's not my mother. When I can't confess to my mother the evil sins that I've committed in the world, I go and talk to her. And as always, I want to thank my side guest, Michael, my co-host, Michael, Huddle Card, who didn't marry his daughter. But his daughter did just get married. And so wonderful. Yes, it is, Dom. I agree with you. And am I married? I'm already married. You missed that boat. But if that's not what you're referring to, no, Michael did not get married. His daughter just got married. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. And that's the show tonight, guys. I'm sorry Anthony couldn't be with us. He had to make a bathroom run. All right, guys.
Hey, and everybody. Hey, we have the holiday weekend coming up. I mean, it's not really a holiday weekend. Some people are making a 4-day weekend. Enjoy your time with your family as you get ready for another exciting episode a week from now on my channel, Collecting Profit. Hopefully.